She told me she didn't need to be intimate with me anymore, like it was some casual update she could throw out over dinner. No explanation, no softness, no conversation. Just a cold sentence dropped between bites of salad, like it was nothing. What she didn't realize was that in that moment, everything in me changed. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I just looked at her, nodded slowly, and made a quiet decision that would shift everything. We had been married for 6 years. Not perfect years, what relationship is. But they were years I thought were built on mutual respect, loyalty, and partnership. We both worked. We split the bills, shared chores, and for the most part, we made it work. But over time, I noticed her drifting. Not just physically. The spark went out emotionally, too. Conversations grew shorter. Hugs became brief. And then the excuses came. First, it was stress from work. Then it was being tired. Then she needed space. I tried to understand. I gave her time. I stopped asking for affection, thinking maybe pressure was making it worse. I focused on being a better listener, a better husband, hoping something would click us back together. But it didn't. Things just got colder. And then came that dinner. A quiet Wednesday night. Nothing special. She barely looked up from her plate and said like she was telling me she changed laundry detergent. I just don't feel like being intimate anymore. And I don't think I need to be just because we're married. That sentence hung in the air like smoke. I remember the sound of the silverware against the plate. Her voice had no emotion, no empathy, just a cold, detached statement. I didn't fight her on it, didn't plead or push. I just swallowed everything I was feeling and nodded like I understood. But inside, I was rewiring something fundamental. That wasn't a plea for space. It was about control. It was a quiet way of saying, you're stuck. You'll take what I give you and stay anyway. But she was wrong. From that night on, I stopped trying, stopped initiating, stopped checking in, stopped handing her the emotional support I had always given so freely. I stayed polite, calm, helpful, but distant, just like she'd been with me. I went to the gym more, took longer walks alone, stayed late at work. I didn't tell her about my day. I stopped asking about hers. I became a ghost in our marriage, still there, but emotionally, I was already gone. It took her almost 3 weeks to notice something had shifted. One night she came to bed, reached for my hand, and said, "You've been really quiet lately." I smiled and replied, "I'm fine." But I wasn't fine. I was preparing, quietly detaching, not out of cruelty, out of clarity, because I finally saw her for who she was. Someone who believed marriage meant I'd stay no matter how little I was given in return, that I'd endure the silence, the distance, the rejection, and still show up every day. She mistook patience for weakness. 2 months later, everything was in place. I found a small apartment, transferred the part of our savings. I had legal access into a separate account, spoke to a lawyer, waited until she was away at her sister's for the weekend to pack my things. No drama, no arguments, just a folded note on the kitchen counter. You were right. You don't owe me intimacy, and I don't owe you my presence. All the best. I didn't block her, didn't erase her, but I never looked back. She called the next day, 10 times, left voicemails, first confused, then angry, then panicked. The last one broke me a little. "I didn't think you'd actually leave." That's what stunned the most. She didn't believe I'd go, because she thought love made me blind. But love didn't blind me. It just made me stay longer than I should have. In that quiet apartment, I found peace. I realized I hadn't been breathing for a long time. I started therapy. I started healing. I started understanding that withholding affection, connection, and warmth, especially without discussion, isn't just neglect. It's a subtle form of manipulation. She messaged a few more times. Long paragraphs. Regrets. Offers to talk. But I never replied, because I had already said everything I needed to say by leaving. Sometimes the loudest thing you can do is walk away in silence. And sometimes, when someone tells you what they don't need, they're also showing you exactly what you don't need either.